First of all, we'll try to see the basic concepts behind Rh incompatibility. What do we mean by Rh and what do we mean by incompatibility? See guys, if we are given a blood sample and we have to check the blood group, usually we use two type of blood grouping systems. One is A, B, O, that is ABO system. In that system there are four types of blood groups. It can be A, B, O or AB. Another is RH system. In that one, two possibilities are there only. One is positive, one is negative. That means this RH is antigen. On the surface of RBC, on RBC surface, there are hundreds of antigens, and this Rh antigen is one of them. This Rh antigen is one of the important antigens on the surface of our RBCs. Now see, let's say the blood group in the sample which we check was A. That means this A blood group guy he can have positive, he can have negative. Only two possibilities are there. That means if he has Rh antigen, his blood group will be labeled as A positive. If he does not have, his blood group will be labeled as Rh negative. So now see, from immuno, we know if any foreign antigen enters my body, if it enters my circulation, there will be antibody production in my body. And what these antibodies have to do, their job is to eliminate the antigen. For that, they will attack this antigen and they will destroy it. So if in case one type of blood group A, for example, is mixed with another type of blood group, let's say that also A, but this one is Rh positive, this one is Rh negative, what will happen? That means Rh positive means this guy has Rh antigen. So if now Rh antigen, if from outside enters his body, foreign Rh antigen enters his body, would there be any antibody production? No. Why? Because this guy, he already has Rh antigen. So even if more antigen is coming from outside, there will be no antibody production. No antibody production. And if his blood group had been Rh negative, and now if Rh antigen enters his body, his body will become sensitized. That means his body will start producing antibodies, and what these antibodies have to do? They will attack the RBCs. Where is this Rh antigen? On the surface of RBCs. So they will attack the RBCs and destroy them. This was if there is mixing of non-connected bloods. If in case blood, so this is the basic concept behind Rh incompatibility. Rh is the antigen on the surface of RBC. Incompatibility means mismatch. So if they are mismatched, Rh negative with Rh positive, or if they are mismatched, it leads to immune reaction, antibody production, and that leads to destruction of RBCs, hemolysis, and it produces anemia. So this was the basic concept. Now let's see what is that Rh incompatibility issue in OBS which we were talking about. Let's say one pregnant lady comes to us. One pregnant lady comes to our hospital. We check her blood group. We find it is Rh. Two possibilities are there. It can be Rh positive. It can be Rh negative. If it is Rh positive, that means she has the antigen already. She will not produce antibodies. Even if there is mixing of blood, there will be no antibody production. So we have no problem in her case. We don't need to worry. If we find that her blood group is Rh negative, that means if in any case, if she receives Rh positive blood group, there will be antibody production, and that will lead to hemolysis and anemia and other things. So how Rh negative lady, she can receive Rh positive blood group? How she is going to receive? There are only two ways. One is by transfusion, and another is from her baby. These days, before giving the blood transfusion, we are doing proper cross matching of blood groups, so this thing is not possible. Eliminate this. What we are left out with? That Rh negative lady, she can receive Rh positive antigen from her baby. How baby will be Rh positive? Mother is Rh negative, and we are saying baby is Rh positive. How is it possible? So it is possible only if husband was Rh positive. Okay, she is negative. If her husband was negative, baby cannot be negative. No problem with that. If she is negative, we check her husband's blood group also. If we find it negative, no problem, nothing to worry. If you find that the husband blood group is positive, that means there are possibilities that her baby will be Rh positive. And if by any means there is mixing of mother's blood, mixing of mother's blood with fetal blood, mother will produce antibodies. Antibody production will be there, and these antibodies from mother circulation via placenta, where they will go? They will go to fetal circulation. Fetal circulation, that means the antibody has reached the source of antigen. And what this antibody will do now? It will attack the antigen and destroy it. So what we saw, baby's RBCs, they have been destroyed. Hemolysis in fetal circulation. Okay. Now if there is hemolysis in fetal circulation, what will happen? Baby will have anemia. If this anemia becomes severe, what it may lead to? It may even lead to heart failure. of baby, and if not controlled, this would lead to intrauterine death. So you see, little mixing of blood, what it lead to? It leads to intrauterine death of the baby. Our aim is to stop this thing. We have to stop intrauterine death. We cannot allow this. So now to stop this thing, what we have to do, what steps we need to follow, let's see that. When a pregnant lady, remember when that pregnant lady came to you? That pregnant lady, she came to your hospital, you found husband's blood group was Rh positive. What we do next? Next we do indirect Coombs test on maternal blood. This indirect Coombs test, it will tell about whether antibodies have already been produced. That means if there was mixing of maternal and fetal blood earlier or not. Do you all know how to read the results of ICT? See, ICT can be positive, can be negative. What we are checking in ICT? We are checking antibody titer. So it can be positive, it can be negative. Negative means no antibodies are there. If no antibodies are there, we have nothing to worry. That means no mixing has taken place. That means no sensitization. That means no problem for fetus. So what we will do now, we will ask this lady to come back to us at 28 weeks. At 28 weeks, we will repeat ICT. So if ICT was negative, we repeat ICT again at 28 weeks. Now if it is negative again at 28 weeks, see guys, now as the pregnancy is increasing, as the period of gestation increases, chances of mixing, they increase because of abruptio placenta, APH, all these things. Because of all these, chances of mixing increases, and we cannot ask this lady to, because her ICT was negative, we cannot ask her to visit our hospital again and again. It will be difficult to make her understand. So what we will do now, at 28 weeks, we will give her anti-D. How much we will give? 300 microgram single dose. Injection of anti-D, 300 microgram single dose. This 300 microgram, it is enough. It is enough till delivery. Even if any mixing happens, it is enough. It is enough to protect the fetal RBCs. So we don't have to worry. Now in case if ICT was positive, let's see that if ICT was positive, positive means we divide the titer into two parts. It can be more than or equal to critical titer, or it can be below critical titer. 1:16 we consider as critical titer, and below that, like 1:4, 1:8, 1:12, this is below critical titer. So now this 1:16 is the critical titer. We'll see both of these cases. Let's see this case now. The case was below critical titer. In this case, what we will do, that means below critical titer means sensitization may or may not be there, antibodies may or not, very little amount of sensitization we can say has happened, and this is not enough to make us worry. So what we do now, we repeat ICT at an interval of 4 weeks. If it is still low, let's say we found it is still low, still less than 1:16. Now we repeat ICT twice weekly at 2 weeks interval. Keep on repeating till 28 weeks. At 28 weeks, it does not matter if it is below or it is more. What do we do? Give anti-D. How much? The same 300 microgram single dose injection. Okay. Now let's see if it was above critical titer. That means more than equal to 1:16. In this case, that means mixing has happened, enough antibodies have been produced, there might be the chances of anemia. There would have been hemolysis, destruction of RBCs, anemia could be there. So to check that, first of all, first investigation which we do now is MCA Doppler. MCA Doppler means middle cerebral artery Doppler. Of whom? Mother or baby? Of course, fetus. Or the baby. So let's see. We did the next investigation we did. It was middle cerebral arteries Doppler test we did on the fetus, and what we check now in this test, in this Doppler, what we check, we look for peak systolic velocity. Peak systolic velocity in middle cerebral artery. If there was mixing, RBC destruction was there, anemia chances are there, so PSV will be increased. How much it will be increased? It can be more than 1, it can be any value. Unit for PSV is MOM. Just to tell you, this is MOM. MOM means multiple of median. So if PSV was more than or equal to 1.5 MOM, if it was this much, that means anemia is there. It is suggestive of anemia. So now what we do, we will check hemoglobin of baby. How we do that? We do that by chordocentesis. We take baby's blood, we check for hemoglobin, and let's say we find it less than 8, for example. That means it is anemia. Now second thing, check for hematocrit. Check for hematocrit. If it is less than 30, that means few RBCs are remaining there. Hemoglobin is less, number of RBCs is less. So now to avoid further problems, for our further management will be, we look for period of gestation. If it could be more than 34 weeks, it could be less than 34 weeks. Why we are talking about 34 weeks only? Why not less than that or more than that? Because at 34 weeks there happens surfactant production, lungs mature, and if at 34 weeks, if the baby comes out of the uterus, he is able to survive, he can respire, he can survive. But before that, lungs are not mature, and there are chances of respiratory distress, and it decreases the survival of the baby. Now if period of gestation was more than 34 weeks, that means the baby is mature enough to survive outside the uterus. We will deliver the baby. Okay, we will deliver the baby if period of gestation was more than 34 weeks. Now if the period of gestation was less than 34 weeks, baby is not mature enough to survive outside the uterus, what we do now, we will give, so period of gestation was less than 34 weeks. What we will do now, we will do intrauterine transfusion. We will give intrauterine transfusion to the baby, and we will wait until lung maturity. As soon as the lungs mature, we deliver the baby. Okay, but what happens if there was the anemia was so severe that hemoglobin went even less than 5, or the hematocrit it went less than 15? If you find out this situation, that means anemia was so severe that it could lead to heart failure in baby. If there is heart failure in baby, what will happen? There will be edema and fluid accumulation will start. Fluid collection will start in different compartments. In different compartments, fluid collection will start. Which compartments we are talking about? Skin. So there will be skin edema, pleural effusion in lungs, then pericardial effusion around heart, ascites in abdomen. So if we find these things, this thing is called hydrops fetalis. See, one thing I forgot there. When heart failure happens, edema starts, fluid accumulation starts, baby kind of swells in the uterus, and this thing is called hydropic. Baby becomes hydropic. And severe form of that, when the fluid collection happens at a larger scale, this thing we call hydrops fetalis. So in the questions they ask you the definition of hydrops fetalis. Definition of hydrops fetalis is collection of fluid in more than or equal to two compartments. What are the compartments? It can be skin, it can be lungs, can be heart, can be abdomen. So this is what we call hydrops fetalis. Next question, they ask you for signs of hydrops fetalis. Signs of hydrops fetalis. See guys, have you seen the pictures of Lord Buddha? In his pictures, if this is the picture, in his pictures around his body there is a halo, kind of light is coming from behind of his body. Halo is coming, right? So when we do USG of the fetus, or when the fetus has is hydropic, or if he has hydrops fetalis, we will see a kind of, because there is skin edema, subcutaneous tissue has got fluid collection, so that will appear like this same, like the halo of Lord Buddha. So this is called as halo sign or Buddha sign. So in the question they ask you definite sign of or X-ray sign of hydropic or hydrops fetalis, that is halo sign or Buddha sign. If they ask you definition, that is collection of fluid in more than or equal to two compartments. It can be skin, lungs, heart, or abdomen. So guys, this was if we were able to deliver the baby, if we could stop all those problems, if the baby was delivered, in any case when the titer was less than critical value, if it was below critical value, if it was negative, when we had delivered the baby, remember we had given NTD at 28 weeks. In those ladies, after delivery also, we will give one more shot of NTD. And what would be the dose? Again 300 microgram. So they ask you in the question, after how much time after the delivery you have to give? Answer is within 72 hours is the ideal time. Within 72 hours of the delivery is the ideal time, but it is effective up to, let's say the NTD was not available, or if by mistake the shot was not given within 72 hours, it is effective up to 28 days post delivery. So up to 28 days after delivery you can give, but the ideal time is up to 72 hours. So guys, in the discussion on the question which you were discussing on Facebook, your discussion was going on for whom it is given, for whom it is beneficial. NTD is not beneficial for mother, but for whom? For baby. So some of you were saying, if abortion has happened, baby is dead, he is out of uterus already, so you don't give anti-D. Yes, this is what you are saying, but this is wrong. Why this is wrong? See, if during the process of abortion, by any means, if there was mixing of maternal and fetal blood, if mixing was present, that means mother's body is sensitized. That means some antibodies have been produced. Correct? Now, if next time during next delivery, if the next baby is Rh positive, and if there is even a small amount of mixing, very less amount of mixing is there, or even if there is no mixing,